In 1841, the scientific world witnessed a surprising turning point in the way we view our bodies. German anatomist Jacob Henle, while conducting experiments under a microscope, decided to examine an unlikely specimen, earwax. Under the light of the microscope, Henle discovered something that initially astonished him. Tiny, worm-like creatures were alive within the specimen. At first glance, they appeared to be simple creatures, and Henle even thought they might be common insects. But the truth was not so simple. As other scientists continued to study them with the help of microscope technology, they discovered that these creatures were not worms or insects, as Henle had originally thought. Instead, they belong to a much more specialized group of animals, the arachnida class, which includes spiders, scorpions, and ticks. And these little creatures are called Demodex mites. Demodex is not just a group of common parasitic mites, but also a unique and interesting biological phenomenon, with many things that have not been fully explored. With more than 100 different species identified, they live parasitically in and around the hair follicles of mammals. Each animal species has its own typical Demodex species, and we humans are no exception. Notably, the human body is home to two main species, Demodex follicularum and Demodex brevis. One thing that surprises many people is the almost absolute prevalence of Demodex on the human body. Almost all of us carry these residents on our skin without realizing their existence. They are extremely small, only 0.3 to 0.4 millimeter in size, and are almost invisible to the naked eye. Regardless of age, gender, or race, Demodex finds our body an ideal habitat. The two Demodex species on humans have different characteristics in terms of habitat and lifestyle. Demodex follicularum usually resides in hair follicles, mainly in areas with a lot of eyebrows, eyelashes, hair, and even on the face. Meanwhile, Demodex brevis lives deeper in the sebaceous glands or oil glands around the pores. This explains why oily skin areas, such as the T-zone on the face, are where Demodex is concentrated in large numbers. Under the surface of the skin, where we think there is nothing but dead cells and excess oil, is a bustling village of hundreds, even thousands of Demodex. They not only live, but also perform basic life activities such as eating, mating, and laying eggs. Demodex follicularum usually clings tightly to the base of hairs, where they consume sebum and dead skin cells as their main source of nutrition. They slowly migrate from the hair follicle to the surface of the skin, especially at night, in search of a mate or to move to a new home. Meanwhile, Demodex brevis tends to adapt to the deeper environment inside the sebaceous gland, where they suck nutrients directly from the gland. The life cycle of Demodex is quite short, only about 14–16 days, but this does not prevent them from growing in significant numbers. A female Demodex can lay eggs right inside the pore, creating a new generation within a few days. When these mites die, their bodies decompose on the spot, becoming a source of nutrition for bacteria and other microorganisms on the skin. Although the idea of thousands of tiny mites living on our face may make many people uncomfortable, Demodex is not entirely harmful. In fact, they play a certain role in the skin's ecosystem. By consuming dead cells and excess sebum, they help maintain the natural balance of the skin's surface, preventing excessive oil and dead cell buildup. However, when Demodex numbers increase abnormally, they can become the cause of a number of skin problems. Studies have shown a link between Demodex and conditions such as acne, demodicosis, or rosacea. When Demodex numbers are too large, they can stimulate an inflammatory response in the skin, leading to symptoms such as redness, itching, or swelling. In addition, the decomposition of Demodex bodies can also create conditions for harmful bacteria to grow, aggravating dermatological problems. Imagine that each pore on your face is a small room, and in each of those rooms, dozens of Demodex are living. They crawl back and forth, eat sebum, mate, and lay eggs right there. While you sleep, they wake up and begin their journey in search of a mate, crawling from pore to pore. This is not something you can feel, as their small size and slow movements make them completely invisible to human senses. Research shows that Demodex mites have lived with mammals for millions of years, evolving with their host species. When humans appeared on Earth, these mites also evolved to fit into our bodies. This means that their presence is not just a coincidence, but the result of a long-standing and inseparable biological relationship. From birth, infants begin to acquire Demodex mites from contact with their mothers or caregivers. As we grow older, especially after puberty, the number of mites on our bodies increases significantly. This may be due to hormonal changes and an increase in sebum in the hair follicles, their main food source. Demodex mites are concentrated mainly on the face, especially in areas with active oil glands such as the nose, forehead, and chin. Their life cycle lasts about 2 weeks, from adulthood to reproduction and death. During the day, they hide deep in our pores, and at night, when our bodies secrete melatonin and rest, they become very active. At night, Demodex mites crawl out of our pores and move across our faces in search of mates. At a speed of about a centimeter per hour, they make a slow but determined journey. After mating, they return to the pores to lay eggs, ensuring the survival of the next generation. While the idea of tiny creatures living on your face may make you feel uneasy, the truth is that Demodex mites are harmless to most people. They usually only cause problems in extreme cases, when the body's immune system overreacts or when the number of mites increases, leading to dermatitis. For the majority, Demodex mites are silent residents, causing no trouble and continuing to accompany us day by day. Studies of Demodex mites also reveal interesting things about our genetic history. Different lineages of this mite have evolved with different groups of people around the world. This means that by studying Demodex mites, scientists can trace a person's ancestry. However, due to the limited reproduction of each individual population, the genetic diversity of Demodex mites is decreasing. Although this may lead to extinction in the future, for now, Demodex mites are still alive and continue to be our companions. The next time you look in the mirror, remember that your face is not just yours. It is also home to hundreds of Demodex mites, tiny but interesting creatures. And as you drift off to sleep, think of the active lives of these tiny residents, enjoying the late night on your face. Good night!